So, I want to share with you how you can create a super tanky build using the Bromius Pact, which also happens to deal insane damage with his rump thump skill. By the way, if you like straightforward and no bullshit guides like this, I humbly ask for your support by simply liking the video and subscribing to my channel. I'm Leonard, by the way, and thanks for clicking the video, and I'm so happy that you are here. Okay, now let's begin this guide. Rump thump is one of the highest damage skills in the game right now. Well, Tethran Pact is still goated when it comes to damage, but what I like about the Bromius Pact is that the area of effect of rump thump is also wide, able to hit multiple enemies at once. It's like a nuking skill, and if it can deal 2000 damage of higher, then all enemies hit by the skill will receive the same exact damage. Now, rump thump's damage can be scaled by increasing your courage. Based from my tests, you will need at least 43 courage for the maximum damage boost for rump thump. Another thing that can boost your first skill's damage is your Song of Growth. This boosts your armor, making you super tanky. Take note, the armor buffing capabilities are slightly different. Stability gets buffed at around 0.8 times compared to the other two. Also, this is not mentioned in the description, but this skill buffs the damage of rump thump. It looks like rump thump's damage also scales with your total armor rating. You can see your armor in the top right corner of your screen when you go to your tent and look up your character. The first value is for the physical defense. The second one is your magical defense. And the third one is your stability or your defense against knockdowns. Now, rump thump can scale damage with the help of your total armor rating. So basically, you would want higher values in total, and you can do this by matching the right armors and weapons to get the best totems that have the highest defensive stats. In my case, I have 117 total armor rating, which I got from using the Bearer's Mask, which you can farm from the Kabocha World boss. And then, I paired it with the Mockery Leggings and Cuirass, which you can farm from the Imp World boss. By the way, the Orengal's Cuirass also works perfect for this Bromius build, as it got the same total armor rating as the Mockery Cuirass, but only differs on the stat distribution. Now, some are using a staff and another magic weapon on their sidearm to get the highest defensive values to buff Bromius's first ability. Well, it's a good option, but if you really want to maximize its damage potential, then I strongly recommend using a sword and shield with the new durglint rune, which you can farm from these Koga bosses. Take note that it's a random drop, meaning that it will not be always guaranteed to drop after picking up the Agari mushroom. But rest assured that these bosses are the ones that drops the new durglint rune. Okay, before we proceed to the Bromius sup, please give me a couple of minutes to share with you my thoughts about this rune. The durglint rune gets a lot of hate at first glance, but it's actually way better than people think. The description makes it sound limited, since it only procs off parries, and that worried a lot of players. If it worked like Forburn, a short timer would make parry-based damage almost useless. But once you actually use it, the opposite is true. Durglint hits hard with every parry, and its buff lasts longer than Forburn, giving you more room to react, block, and still get value. So instead of being punished for playing defensively, you're rewarded with steady damage and a flexible window to make plays. What really makes durglint shine are the hidden mechanics it doesn't even bother to talk about. Just holding block turns your shield into a slow, constant damage cone in front of you. Not broken, but very reliable, and perfect for chip pressure. On top of that, building up energy through blocking or parrying lets your next hit explode like a mini Fellas strike, giving shields a powerful offensive payoff. Even though weapon throw knockdown got removed, and shield throws still lack their intended stagger bonus, durglint fills the gap, and then some. However, I think the rune will be more popular if it's not a duration-based. Instead, it should be based on charges, because honestly, parrying really depends on when your enemies attack, so it would be great if we can maximize its effectiveness. Now, let's get back to how the durglint works with Bromius rump thump skill. This rune will unlock 2 defensive slots in your weapon, and so far, the sword and shield give out the highest defensive stats among all weapons in the game. In this case, you can put the Sailor totem that grants 15 magic defense, and then the Protector totem that grants 26 stagger defense. For the sidearm, I am using the Odiax, so I can put the Blighted totem that grants 10 physical defense, and the Proud that grants 24 stagger defense. Aside from increasing the damage of your rump thump, using a build like this will give you good defense against magic, physical, and knockdowns, making your envoy a tank unit. Finally, let's talk about the other stuff that you need. First of all, I invested all my virtues to courage, since I needed 43 for this one. I can use the potion from Verminia that gives 10 courage in 1 hour, but that means I would be farming neat cap and fire mushrooms, which I don't intend to do. But if you are still at low ranks, then the potion is also a good option to boost your courage virtue. For the talisman, I am using the Koga Lorcan that increases attack, courage, and physical defense. Then, for the upgrades on my Bromius Pact, I strongly recommend maxing Mora's Pride first for that extra courage boost. Also, the Akin passive is strongly recommended to lower the cooldown of your skills. And finally, I have the Rooted passive for stagger defense. By the way, this doesn't add to the stability stat to boost rump thump, but it's a solid upgrade against stagger, especially while you are blocking attacks. For the combat arts of my sword and shield, I really don't have any specific builds, as this is mainly focused on nuking with the rump thump skill. The same goes with my Odiac, so just use whatever you like for your playstyle. By the way, the Bromius quest does give you courage points, so I also recommend selecting courage if you want to main this build. Well, honestly, courage is really useful right now, as it's like power strength for warframes, so generally speaking, it's useful for all builds. So that's it, guys. If you watched the video until the end, then thank you for your support, and I hope that you find this guide informative. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on my next guide.